A civil servant in Northern Ireland got £10,000 after he said his human rights had been violated. Now, 10 grand, that's a lot of money, so you think something serious must have happened. Was he arrested? Was he beaten, tortured? Well, no. He said he's offended because at his workplace he had to walk past portraits of the royal family. 10 fucking grand. Now, first up, if the place where you work has something hanging on the wall that you're offended by, don't fucking look at it! Look at the floor, look at your phone, anything, because I doubt every day when he got to work there was a guy holding him by the back of the head going, "Look at the British monarchs! Look at the British monarchs!" Now, this guy's in favour of Irish Home Rule, but bizarrely he's also a civil servant, which means he's an employee of the government. Now, this is in Northern Ireland, and everything in Northern Ireland is bloody complicated when it comes to politics, because Stormont, the Irish Parliament, doesn't have any MPs in it because they can't get on, so everything is being run from Westminster. So this is a guy who's offended by the British head of state, but works for and is paid by the British fucking government. Now, I think they missed a trick with his compensation, because what I would have done is said, okay mate, we'll pay you 10 grand, we'll give it to you in cash, and then pay him in sterling. Because in Northern Ireland they have their own currency, but sterling is also legal tender over there as well. And crucially, on all pound sterling there's a picture of the Queen on it. I'd love to test his fucking principles. Are you going to take the money, or does it offend you too much? But he got his money, and not only that, he was promoted and was then asked what should replace the portraits, because they've come down now. So in place of the portraits of the royal family, this chap chose to have photographs of the fucking royal family. So he can't handle an oil painting, but he's fine if it's come off a Canon fucking inkjet printer. But one of these pictures, I think, has got a much darker message to it, because it's the photograph of the state visit by the Queen where she met Martin McGuinness was his name. He's dead now. And Martin McGuinness, of this, just be clear here, again, it's politics, and everything in Northern Ireland is very complicated. Mrs. Disgruntled's from there. The Troubles were horrendous, bad things were done on both sides. Now, Martin McGuinness was a politician, but he's more famous for his earlier work as a commander in the fucking IRA, a known terrorist group which targeted Northern Ireland, mainland UK, and also murdered a member of the royal family. Now, I'm not a big monarchist, but is that a piss take or what? No other country would put up with this shit. Imagine if in America someone working in a government building took issue with a portrait of President Trump. I don't think it'd be hard to find someone that took issue with that, and said, actually, could we replace that with a picture of Osama bin Laden? They'd be shot on the fucking spot. But weirdly, this means now you can sue just for being offended. There are plenty of things that offend me. My fucking neighbours offend me. Pair of unemployed drug addicts. The only two things they're good at is producing children and smoking weed. I'm offended that at the end of the week the government has taken a lot of my hard-earned money, the same as it does with all hard-working taxpayers, to give it to unemployed feckless gobshites like my neighbours. They don't need to go to work because once a fortnight a fucking civil servant goes round there and shovels money through their letterbox. Just here, there's a fucking billboard for Love Island, advertising that crap. That offends me. That TV show proves evolution has peaked and we're now going backwards at an alarming rate. And this is just me being offended. Imagine when all the snowflakes at the university campuses get hold of this, because there's a lot of great students, but it does seem more and more there are people that go to university to get militant on being offended. Now, it's only a few weeks until it's most likely that Boris Johnson will be our new Prime Minister. What outcries are going to be then? They'll all want compensation because the new Prime Minister isn't a biracial, trans-species, disabled lesbian. In fact, this whole thing could have been sorted out the second this twat put in a complaint to his line manager when he said, "I'm offended by that picture of the Queen." His manager should have said, "Well, that portrait's been here a lot longer than you have. If you don't like it, get another job and fuck off."